All right. Shalom, shalom. Let's get right into it. Let's give all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh, by Shema Rashah, down honor to the apostle brothers and the elders in great millstone. Shalom to the host of the elect. Shalom, shalom. So we're going to get to this lesson. As you see, the title is the sermon, the signs, right? The sermon, the signs. So we're just going to get right to the news, article news, what's going on and the time that we are in. So let's get right into it. We just bring these out. Discerning the signs of the time. Let's go right into it. I'm just gonna bring out scriptures. All I gotta do. Let's move along.
Hard and early in a surprise Pearl Harbor style attack to invade Taiwan. Oriana Schuyler Mastro, a fellow at Stanford University and a former China analyst at the Pentagon, told The Sun Online how Beijing increasingly views an invasion of the island as inseparable from a war with the US. Mastro said that these type of blockade war games are set to become more commonplace as the threat of war increasingly looms. She explained that Beijing now believes it also has to fight the US if it is to fulfill its long-cherished goal of invading Taiwan and reuniting with the mainland. And Mastro believes that the most likely way such a conflict would play out is with a Pearl Harbor style attack on US forces in the region. It would be designed to try and knock out U.S. forces so that they could not react to stop China gaining a foothold in Taiwan. The strategic gamble would be an attempt to stall a wider war, just as Japan hoped when they attacked Pearl Harbor in 1941, drawing the U.S. into World War II. It would be one of the chilling factors China would have to weigh up if it decides the only way to reunify with Taiwan is an invasion. Mastro went on to state that it's about hitting hard and early, so we can't get boots on the island before the United States can launch a response. She said that my argument is that more people like Pelosi try to make the U.S. commitment clear, then the more certain the Chinese are of our commitment, and the more likely a Pearl Harbor style attack is. It goes on further to report that Mastro suggested such an attack could see America lose a war to China in a week, as it struggled to get its forces in place to prevent an invasion of Taiwan. In addition to that, she's been speaking to Chinese officials amid the crisis right now, and they told her that they will use the current crisis to ramp up pressure on Taiwan and make life difficult for America. She said that I met with some Chinese government officials this morning, and they communicated to me that the status quo has been broken. Now they have an opportunity to build a new status quo, and that's going to be one more beneficial for them, in which they're present and operating because this exasperates the U.S. problem of early warning. There will be large-scale mobilizations and exercises that are basically combat rehearsals. She went on to state that if it becomes routine for China to be engaging in mass mobilizations, then it's harder for the United States to know if it's a blockade of Taiwan or just an exercise. Now, Mastro is not the only expert to have suggested that the U.S. could face another Pearl Harbor over Taiwan. In a recent book defending Taiwan, foreign policy experts Hal Brands and Michael Beckley warned that the war could begin with China launching a preemptive strike on U.S. forces. Brands and Beckley warned that the most worrying scenario would see Beijing attempt to launch a surprise missile attack on American forces in Asia. Chinese military doctrine demands that they attempt to paralyze the enemy in one stroke, and they warn that by the time the U.S. was ready to fight, the war might effectively be over. So this is a very interesting scenario. Will China attempt a Pearl Harbor style attack on U.S. forces? They are furious right now with the United States, and most particularly Nancy Pelosi. They also want to reunify Taiwan very badly. Will they go as far as attacking the U.S.? I think at this point, anything is possible. And hopefully the United States military is prepared for such a scenario. But with that said, I'd like to move along and talk about Israel. The Jerusalem Post is reporting that the IDF struck targets in the northern Gaza Strip on Friday, saying that it has begun Operation Breaking Dawn against the Islamic Jihad. Several targets in the northern Gaza Strip were hit, with reports of casualties, including the head of the group's northern commander, Tiger al-Jabari, who replaced Baha Abu, who was killed in an IAF strike in 2019. Jabari, who was also responsible for coordination between the group and Hamas, was killed at 4:16 p.m. According to the IDF, he commanded over the launching of hundreds of rockets during Operation Guardian of the Walls last year, including anti-tank guided missile attacks. The IDF said that they had received a specific warning that he was planning an attack against Israeli targets before the arrest of Bassam Sadi earlier in the week in an arrest raid in West Bank. In addition, IAF jets and drones targeted 2 cells that were on their way to carry out anti-tank missile attacks, killing at least 12 operatives. Now, with that said, Defense Minister Benny Gantz approved a draft order of up to 25,000 soldiers in reserve duty for operational purposes, and the IDF began calling up reservists in the Southern Command, Air Defense Array, and Home Front Command and combat troops and officers. Prime Minister Lapid stated in a statement that the goal of this operation is the elimination of concrete threat against the citizens of Israel and the citizens living adjacent to the Gaza Strip. In the meanwhile, the leader of the Palestinian Islamic Jihad vows to hit back at Israel after the opening round of Israeli strikes, stating that we are going into battle and there are no ceasefires after an attack, apparently calling on Hamas and other terror groups to join in hitting back at Israel, stating that this is a test for all of the parts of the resistance. He added that all Israeli towns, including Tel Aviv, are on the group's radar and should be prepared to be targeted. In the meanwhile, the Tel Aviv municipality says it's prepared to open public bomb shelters in the event of rocket fire at central Israel. Air traffic in and out of the airport have been diverted away from Gaza amid fears of retaliatory rocket fire. And finally, incoming rocket sirens are sounding in Israeli towns throughout the south. Several Iron Dome interceptor missiles are seen engaging incoming rockets over southern Israel in at least 2 separate barrages from Gaza. At this point, there is no immediate confirmation from the IDF on how many rockets were launched from Gaza and if they were intercepted. So obviously, what is happening in Israel right now is unfolding minute by minute. And we can only assume that we're going to see more rockets coming into Israel and Israel retaliating. And as always, I'll do my best to keep you updated. And with that said, prophetically speaking, we definitely want to keep an eye on Israel because Israel is God's prophetic time clock. But as of right now, we've got tensions in Asia, tensions between Russia and Ukraine, and now the Middle East. Sounds a lot like wars and rumors of wars. And as always, I will continue to keep you updated. Please.
Yeah, so you see. Okay, again, scripture. All right, let's go to Isaiah 55, verse 6. No, wrong. Isaiah 55, verse 6. It says, "Seek ye the Lord while he may be found, and call upon him while he is near." Right? Call upon him while he is near. Verse 7. "Let the wicked forsake his ways, and the unrighteous man his thoughts, and let him return to the Lord, and he will have mercy upon him to our power, for he will abundant pardon." Right? Seek the Lord while he may be found. Verse 8. "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. For as the heaven are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and your thoughts, higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." So, right. So, Isaiah 55, 6, he says, "Seek ye the Lord while he may be found, and call upon him while he is near." All right, let's go to Isaiah. Let's see what I got. This. No, I'm just gonna go right into it. Jeremiah, Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 17. Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 17. It says, "Son of man, I have made thee the watchman to the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the words of my mouth and give them warning from me. Right. Give the warning from me. We get again, Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 17. Son of man, I have made you watchman to the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word of my mouth and give them warning from me. Verse 19, yet I warned the wicked and turn not from his ways. No, it's like turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked ways he should die the iniquity, but that I deliver thy soul. Ezekiel 33, verse 1. Ezekiel 33, verse 1. It's again the word of the Lord came unto me and say, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people and say unto them, when I bring a sore upon the land, let the people of the land take a man of the coast and set him for their watchman. When they see the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people. Right, warn the people. Verse 4: so whoever hear the sound of the trumpet and take not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood should be upon him, his own head. Verse 5: he hear the sound of the trumpet and take not warning, his blood should be upon him. But he that take warning should deliver his soul. Right, he that take warning should deliver his soul. Ezekiel 33, verse 3. If when you see the soul, we see the sound, no, I'm coming on trip. Like for them. Yeah. If when you see the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people. Right, warn them. David 12. I want to this. Let's go to Joel chapter 2, verse 1. Joel chapter 2, verse 1. It says, blow to your trumpet in Zion and sound alarm in my holy mountain. Let all in the habit of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord come forth is not at hand. Right? You blowing the trumpet, blowing you the trumpet in Zion. All right, move on. All right, let's go to Matthew 24. Matthew 24, verse 3. And he sat upon the Mount of Olives, and disciples came unto him privately and said, tell us, where should those things be, and what should be the signs of thy coming and the end of the world? Right, the end of the world. Verse 4, and Yahweh shall answer and say unto them, take heed, no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, say Mashiach, and shall deceive many. And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Right, the end is not yet. Verse 7, but nation shall rise against nations, and kingdom against kingdom, and they shall be famine, pestilence, and earthquake in diverse places. And all these are the beginning of sorrows, right? All these are the beginning of sorrows. Matthew 24, verse 14. And this gospel of the kingdom should be preached in all the world for its witness to all nations, and then should the end come. Matthew 24, verse 42. It said, watch therefore, for you know not what hour your Lord does come. Right? Watch. Matthew 24, verse 44. Therefore be you also ready, for sure as an hour you think not, the Son of Man coming. All right, move on. Let's go to Luke 21, verse 20. Luke 21, Luke chapter 21, verse 9, verse 9. Luke 21, verse 9. But when you shall hear of wars and commotion, be not terrified, for those things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by, right? We got again, Luke 21, verse 9. But when you shall hear of wars and commotion, be not terrified, for those things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. Luke 21, verse 34. Let's go to verse 30. No, let's go to 30. Let me see. Let me see. Let's go to verse 26. Yeah. Man's heart fell then for fearing, for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the power of heaven shall be shaken. And they shall see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And when those things begin to come to pass, and look up and lift up your head, for your redemption draw not. And he spoke to them in peril. Behold, a fig tree and all the trees, when they now shoot forth, yet see and know your own self, the sum is not at hand. Verse 31. So likewise, when you shall see those things come to pass, know you that the kingdom of the Most High, the kingdom is Most High, is not at hand. Verse 32. Very I say unto you, this generation shall not pass away till all those things be fulfilled, right? To all those things be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. Verse 34, it said, and take heed to yourself. Let any time your heart be overcharged with surfing and drinking and caring of this life. And so that day come upon you underwear, right? That day come upon you underwear. Verse 35, for the snare shall come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth, right? On the face of the whole earth. Verse 36, it said, watch you therefore, and pray always that you may be accounted worthy to escape all those things that should come to pass and stand before the Son of Man, right? Stand before the Son of Man. What else got? Hit a couple more. All right. All right. Let me see. Romans 13, verse 11. Romans 13, verse 11. It said, and that known the time, that now is high time to wake out of sleep, for near is our salvation, near that we believe, right? Verse 12, the night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the work of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. Right? Let us put on the armor of light. Romans 13:11 again, it said, and that known the time, that now is high time to wake out of sleep. For now is our salvation and near that we believe. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. Or what else I got? I think that shit, yeah. So I'm gonna close out right there. So, hey, it's high time to wake out of sleep. So I'm gonna close it out. I just want to get those things out. So we're gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh. By Shema Rashad, double honor to the apostle brothers and the elders of the great millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.